95.5 WFMS. Jim, Deb, and Kevin on this February 15th. Made it through Valentine's Day, everybody.
I didn't wear a coat in.
I know it. It's nice out there.
What's the high today?
Well, it's,
You're going to love it, Deb.
68.
Break out the flip-flops.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah.
68, yes. It's
So enjoy it while we can, right?
Well, it's going to be a roller coaster, but 65 tomorrow, and it kind of falls apart, but comes right back. I mean, it's just been that way this winter. Like a roller
I still
coaster.
think a shoe will drop, that we're going to get that,
Well, we're still in the
ice
snow
storm
zone.
or that snowstorm that...
Usually get one, maybe two big ones a year. Mm-hmm. We got a sort of a half of one.
Yeah.
What's better?
Oh, nothing.
Okay. Well, so yeah, you're right. You are absolutely right. We could very well get that. So, but right now, ain't going to happen today. 57 degrees now.
Break out the tanning oil.
It's right. Wind advisory in effect, too, so also break out your hair product.
Okay, Jimmy.
95.5 WFMS.
Speaking from experience.
95.5 WFMS. Jim, Deb, and Kevin, our Indianapolis Colts 7-2 head coach.
Yes, we do.
Shane Steichen, former offensive coordinator with the Eagles, just played last weekend. Matter of fact, just on Sunday.
Yes, he did.
So he hadn't had any time off there. Go right from that to this, or a press conference yesterday. Tell us a little bit about him,
Well,
Kevin.
I noticed that Rich Knight did an interview with him, and they asked him, the big question, did he know, obviously, before, how was it like coaching a game, the biggest game, knowing that you've got a new job waiting in the wings? And he said, well, you just stay focused on the game itself.
Right.
At 37 years old, born and raised in Sacramento, California, he and his wife, Nina, have two kids, Stella and Hudson, cute kids. Mm-hmm. He's good friends with former Colts quarterback Phillip Rivers.
Okay.
In fact, Rivers called Irsay to say, hey, you know what, he'd be a great choice for you.
Oh,
So it kind of helped. Jeff Saturday wished the new coach good luck in a video he shot. He shot in front of a lake where he's doing some fishing.
Yeah, he's out fishing.
But Saturday said that he wishes him nothing but the best of luck. And he thanked everybody that signed the petition for him not to come back as the coach. He jokingly said, I think my wife and son led the way in signing that. Colts have hired now former Eagles, let's see here, Frank Reich, Carson Wentz, Nick Foles, and now Shane.
You were kind of like Eagles West now. Or something.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a few others.
And I was trying to find the picture, but it's all over social media saying that Shane and Nina, his wife, look like Dak Shepard and Kristen Bell.
He definitely looks like Dax.
Yeah. So
Like just a side profile, it's like you'd think that's him.
Mm-hmm. Well, best of luck, Shane Steichen, new coach for the Indianapolis Colts.
Yep.
95.5 WFMS. Good morning. You're with Jim, Deb, and Kevin. How about some good news?
Well, there's some good news that'll make you cry if you see this video. A TikTok video went viral recently where a 5-year-old girl from Nebraska asked her grandfather to go to the daddy-daughter Valentine's Day dance because sadly her daddy had passed away a few years ago. Grandpa, of course, was thrilled to accept that offer. The girl's mother posted then some footage of the girl and Grandpa getting all dolled up for the big dance, which was last night. A couple broke the Guinness World Record for the longest underwater kiss. They kissed underwater for 4 minutes and 6 seconds without any breathing apparatus.
Wow.
What?
Or apparati, or whatever the word would be. They practiced for 3 days, and they were able to kiss underwater for 4 minutes and 6 seconds, breaking the Guinness record for the longest underwater kiss. A woman in Ohio named Megan has a grandfather who struggles to speak because he has advanced Parkinson's. So she gave him a sound box of an old recording of him saying, I love you, Megan. She found an old tape of him saying it.
Aww.
She dubbed it off on this little sound box. He can push the button, and it says, I love you, Megan, anytime he wants to.
Right.
And now the grandfather plays the recording over and over again of him saying, I love you, Megan, I love you, Megan, I love you, Megan, all the time. And she says it's wonderful. It's one of the video is touching as well because you just see it in his eyes when he hears his own voice saying that because he wants to be able to speak.
He just can't express it.
Yeah.
I love that.
95.5 WFMS. It is a Wednesday morning with Jim, Deb, and Kevin.
Well, I don't know if you've been following this on the news here. It's been the topic the last couple of days. This Italian restaurant in New Jersey is banning all kids under the age of 10.
Okay, so
And it started, I think last night was the first night that it would be, the kids would not be allowed. In the past, they were allowed at the restaurant.
yeah.
But they decided that they wanted to, I guess, raise the age a little bit. Well, a lot of folks commented they thought it was maybe that they were tired of babysitting.
They got a good point there. Here, listen, here they are.
People don't care what their kids do, and they just let them run around. I guess they don't want to pay for a babysitter, so they bring them with them.
When you have little kids running around, sometimes it's disruptive.
Huh. Well,
And the mixture has been kind of mixed,
Hot
the
and
reviews. Yeah. Some folks say that they agree with the restaurant. They have every right to do that, and they'll go to the restaurant because of that. They know there won't be any kids there. Others say, you know what? You're just alienated half your audience.
I would
has
agree
kids.
with that.
Right.
I mean, they have every right to do it, but I have every right not to be a patron there.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't just because I don't like people, setting those policy boundaries for me.
There are kids running around, their parents not watching them and stuff.
Did you ever, when your kids were younger, Deb, did you think, we can't go to that restaurant because, well...
There might be a restaurant
kids,
that our kids were toddlers. That restaurant's a little fancy.
Yeah.
Every parent knows when you have young kids, there's that one stage in their age where you're sitting there and you're trying to finish, and the spouse has to take the child out of the restaurant because they're having a temper tantrum.
Right.
So there might be a restaurant we would not choose to go to as a result of that. We wouldn't let our kids run around for crying out loud and interrupt other people's dinner.
So you would not be one of those parents that this Italian restaurant is.
No.
They're dealing with the parents who don't do what you just
Well,
did. Who would say, you know what, I'll wait a couple of years before I take my kids.
But address the parents. I would go over if I was a restaurant owner and they're letting their kids run around. I'd walk over and address that situation, that isolated incident, to create this big blanket policy that no one with kids under 10. Because, a 9-year-old and an 8-year-old can behave. They can handle themselves properly.
But how do you go up to them and go, hope you like your spaghetti and your dessert, and by the way, make your kids behave?
You don't say it that way. There's a way to say it, but I would, unfortunately, we're having some complaints, and hey, and if they don't come back, they don't come back. But I don't know. It's their right to do that.
Yeah.
But I would say you lost me as a customer.
You know what, though? I've been restaurants where there's some adults that shouldn't be in there.
Well, that's true.
Good point.
I mean, not just restaurants. I mean, movie theaters where you don't know how to keep your mouth shut.
A little quick test when they come in before you go.
So there should be.
It's a little personality test right off there.
Not a height requirement and maturity requirement.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be looking in looking outside, looking in at you guys. So Deb's she's no. You're like I'm not so sure.
But that's me.
That's true.
Oh yeah. Well, what else is new?
Right.
She was right there on the fence,
Make
back
a
and forth.
Jimmy.
All right, I wouldn't go there.
You wouldn't go there. I wouldn't because I saw the prices. 642.
95.5 WFMS. Working our way halfway through the month. We're working our way halfway through the week. Let's get a joke that's half funny. No, it's Kevin's.
I can deliver there.
Kevin's bad joke worth repeating.
A joke that is half funny. I like that.
All right.
It's sponsored by Hearing Solutions of Indiana. You've never heard like this before. A little-known college basketball rule is that players are not allowed to own more than 5 pet chickens.
What?
They'll be ejected from the game if they have more than 5 personal
Come
fouls.
on, I don't believe this.
Personal fouls.
Oh, fouls.
It's true.
Kevin.
Or 5.
Only 5 pet chickens.
I
After that,
want to know what your sources are.
Out of
Where
the
do you
game.
find this stuff?
Out of the game.
95.5 WFMS. Good morning. It's great to have you by on this Wednesday. We mentioned earlier this week, Jason Aldean's going to be coming to town. Rudolph Music Center. It's going to be on September 16th. And the tickets for the Jason Aldean show go on sale this Friday at 10 at livenation.com. We had a chance to sit down and talk with him and talked a little bit about what he does in his free time.
I love to fish, play golf, those kind of things. So typically when I'm not doing this, I'm doing one of those things and raising babies. I feel like I've been doing that forever. So, yeah.
Are you always a hat guy? I think we usually see you in a hat.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. So how many hats do you own?
Oh, a lot, man. I had there's a thing built in my closet at our house that's just strictly hats, and they're all color coded and
So you're organized when you put them away.
Yeah, I'm a little bit OCD. So
Okay.
so I like to have everything kind of in place.
So when you say OCD, would you say you leave a dish or fork in the sink?
No,
Ever?
that's one of my pet peeves. I hate dirty dishes in the sink. So
you're like everyone's dream to be married to.
that's what I tell my wife all the time. I'm telling you, I'm just trying to get her to buy into it at this point.
I'm loving it. You've always been so kind. We always enjoy it. You don't really have to do these interviews at this age, in this stage. This stage.
Excuse you.
No, at this point in your career, but yet you do, and we appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate it, and it's been a great career, and that wouldn't happen without you guys playing our music and people hearing it. So to me, it's definitely just a way to say thank you, and I still enjoy it. I still love coming around and seeing everybody. We don't get a chance to see you guys very much, and so this kind of gives us a chance to catch up, even if it's just for a few minutes, and it's always fun. So I'm glad to be here.
All right.
Did he say he has a special closet for just his hats?
Yeah, they're all
Well, they've got
color-coded.
that dream mansion
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
where I think the closet has a closet. Pretty sure.
95.5 WFMS on Wednesday morning with Jim, Deb, and Kevin. Kevin's got your Nash News now, and Lainey Wilson got it from Mom and Dad.
Yeah, details on that in about 30 seconds. Luke Bryan has added 6 more dates to his Vegas residency. Vegas residency.
Vegas residency.
Vegas
I like
residency.
the way you describe
Tickets
it.
go on sale for those additional dates on Friday, but you could win tickets plus airfare and hotel at 9 o'clock when we give you that national keyword. So don't miss shortly after 9 o'clock for that national keyword. You could find yourself going off to Vegas as well. Miranda Lambert posted a photo of herself wearing a number 15 Patrick Mahomes jersey before the Super Bowl started. She's from Texas. He played at Texas Tech, but now a lot of her fans are upset with her because she wore
Oh, gosh.
his jersey. It's like, it's just a game, folks.
Right.
Yeah.
She's got to be able to root
do
for
what
who
you
she wants
want.
to root for.
That's right.
Yeah. Lainey Wilson inherited her butt genes and Genes, butt genes from both her parents. They ask her all the time, where'd you get the...
Badonkadonk.
There you go. She said, there's a quote, people ask me, where did you get that from? And I say, I got the width from my mom and the depth from my dad.
That's
gotta
nice.
love her.
Credit both
Wow,
parents.
You
yeah,
got to
that's
love
true.
her. That's your Nash News now.
95.5 WFMS. Good morning. It's a Wednesday. Jim, Deb, and Kevin here.
Researchers say watching those true crime stories
Right.
that Deb is a big fan
She
of
does watch a lot of those.
actually keep us on our toes.
Yes.
They say it's actually, you can make fun of it all, but you're more aware of your surroundings.
Is that
and you're
right?
More, because you've watched enough shows to say, this could happen.
To be aware.
To be aware. That's right, yeah.
I watch those shows every day.
I know
you really?
you binge watch.
binge
different
watch,
ones,
and
yeah.
I'm 2020, Dateline, love Dateline. I live for Dateline, and all these shows. Well, and I have a perfect example of that, Kevin.
All
I
right.
do think it makes me more aware, and I think you should do this anyway. Is when you're walking out of a store and a building, so many people are on their phone. But I'm not on my phone. I'm always looking over my shoulder, aware of my surroundings, especially if you're in a parking garage. I don't
Okay.
just look at my phone I'm always, as I get out of the vehicle, I'm looking around. Well, I was in a parking garage the other day, and as I walked out to the garage leaving the shopping center, there was a girl in front of me. She could hear my footsteps. I know, because I could hear my footsteps. I was wearing boots. So I could hear them on the pavement, and I'm about 15 feet behind her, and she never turned around to look at me. And I remember thinking in my head,
You would have.
what are you thinking? I mean, I could hear my footsteps. I know she could hear them, but she never turned to see who was behind her. She was on her phone, and all the way to her vehicle, she never looked. And I remember thinking to myself, that would never be me. I would always check. I mean, I would need to know.
Because you've seen enough scary stories.
Yes, I don't want to be in a Dateline episode. I mean, I even will park in certain places. If I pull up to a car and there's a man in it next to me and it looks a little suspicious, I'll leave and go park somewhere else. Now, my sisters would say I'm overly cautious because
Remember
I've watched so many of these
Remember
episodes.
the time we were in Nashville, Jim? We pulled up to our hotel, and Deb asked the question, I wonder how many people have been murdered in this hotel. And we're like, who even thinks that? Well, I watched a show the other day, and they showed where people were murdered in a hotel.
Well, I'm guaranteeing every hotel you stay in, there's somebody has died, and
No.
at one point somebody's died.
No.
Not maybe in your room, but in some room.
And maybe just natural causes.
But only you
Or
would think of
maybe
those
a
things
murder.
because you watched those shows.
I guess here's what I'm fascinated about, and I won't go on in a tangent on this, but I'm fascinated that at one point, because they all say he was such a nice person.
Right.
We
Yeah,
had
they
no
do.
idea.
Right.
So I'm always fascinated by the fact that at one point they're this great normal family, which they're really not, because behind closed doors you don't know what's going on.
Right.
And in the next minute, they're dead. I just can't get over you can be here 1 minute and gone the next.
Right.
So that's why I'm obsessed about it.
Well, I stand corrected, though, because according to this research, watching those true crime stories or binge watching them, in your case, actually has a positive effect that keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
So there you go. And then you ask dumb questions like, I wonder how many murders have been in this room.
I don't think it's dumb.
95.5 WFMS. Good morning. It's great to have you by. Jim, Deb, and Kevin. You've heard the song Cold Beer, Call 'Em a Name.
Sure.
With Luke Combs and Jameson Rogers, who's going to be performing tomorrow at the old Egyptian Room, Old National Center. Got a long name there, but should be a good show. And we got a chance to talk with him. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. How about y'all?
Man,
Doing
you are like
good.
right on time. Are you normally this punctual?
Oh man, I'm pretty punctual.
Well, who instilled that in you?
I don't know. I guess I got it from my parents.
Good for you.
Yeah, they're good people, and they're always on time.
So did we get you out of bed this morning, or are you an early riser to begin with?
I'm a pretty early riser. I mean, I'm not like 5:30 a.m. or anything, but I wake up earlier than most artists I know. I'll say that. If I stay up till 2 or 3 in the morning, I'm still up at 7. I can't sleep past like 7 or 8. It's impossible.
We're talking with Jamison Rogers. You got to tell us. We heard that Luke Combs actually sent you a message on Instagram, and that's kind of what started your friendship, and then you opening for him.
Yeah, man. Talk about back in the day, like This was 2016. This was. I think it was right before Hurricane went to radio for Luke, and so he wasn't super popular, but he had like a underground,
Sure.
following that. And so he hit me up. His wife had actually heard my first EP that I put out. She sent him a song called Midnight Daydream. He liked it. And so he sent me a message and was like, hey, man, we should write sometime. And, at the time, I had never met him. So it wasn't like 5 million followers
Sure.
or anything. You know what I mean? So it was, I asked some buddies around town. I was like, have y'all heard of Luke? And he was wanting to write. And they're like, yeah, he's on the rise. And so we wrote. I don't even think we finished the song, but we hit it off and became buddies. And yeah, I guess the rest is history. But it's been crazy watching his rise, man. That's been.
Yeah, I think he's going to make it.
So we also know that it's hard to stick to a healthy diet when you're on the road, and we love this. It looks like it's delicious but still healthy. And we heard you love sugar-free Jell-O with some fat-free Cool Whip.
So like sugar-free and fat-free were not part of the cabinet ingredients when I was growing up, and so I might have been like 32 years old when I discovered those.
You might have been.
Maybe.
I might have been. I'm not saying I was, but I might have been. So, I became addicted to that during COVID.
Jamison Rogers there, as I mentioned, tomorrow night will be at the Egyptian Room, the Old National Center, along with Hardy. 95.5 WFMS. Jim, Deb, and Kevin. Deb's got your daily dirt and rumors about J-Lo being mad at Ben.
Yes, but not true.
Not true.
We'll share why. We know that coming up in about 30 seconds. First, Rihanna's Super Bowl halftime performance attracted 118.7 million viewers. That was more than the game itself, which
Wow.
averaged 113 million.
Wow.
She had more. I would say there are people who are not football fans who will tune in just to watch halftime.
Much, yeah.
Did you hear that Mahomes say that the coaches told them that if any player from Kansas City left the locker room to go watch the show, they would be benched?
Yeah. Well, I almost think you probably have to do that. I mean, there were some players that were
Right.
hoping to meet her,
Yeah.
but you're there for one reason,
Right,
and it's not
right.
to watch the halftime
That's
show.
funny.
It was also the second most watched halftime show, by the way, behind Katy Perry's in 2015. I'd forgotten that. Didn't Lady Gaga do the halftime show
Yeah.
a few years back? I thought she did great.
If I remember
but
right.
no
she
one
did a good
really
job.
mentioned her when we were talking about it as we were leading up. Anyways, there you have it. If you still think there is trouble between Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez based on his expressions the other night at the Grammys, it's not the case. They got matching tattoos for Valentine's Day. Of course, she lifted up her shirt to show hers. It's right underneath her, like right below her bra line.
Oh, that's romantic.
Isn't that
I guess.
romantic?
Yeah.
And his is, I want to say his might be on a
How
leg.
do we know that
Or-
it was for Valentine's Day and that they didn't already have these tattoos from when they dated before?
Well, I think she shared something about it in the caption.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
all right.
it's like an infinity thing with a bow and arrow that goes through it, and I don't know, it looked painful to me, especially in that little because there's not a lot of meat there, you know.
A lot of ribs.
Yeah, that's right. So a guy that looks so much like The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. He looks so much like him. He got told he looks like him so much. He went and got all the tattoos that The Rock has.
Oh, you're
so
kidding.
His body imprint matches The Rock's exactly.
Really?
So he
And
could be
if
a
I'm The
stunt
Rock, I'd
double
be
or
like,
something.
okay, you're
Yeah.
weird. This is weird.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
Yeah.
And this is weird. Julio Iglesias Jr. says he uses his dad's music to get in the mood with his girlfriend.
Well, that's a little
You
weird.
want your dad singing in the background? That's supposed to put you in the romantic mood?
All the girls I've loved before.
That's just weird. And if I'm dad, I think that's weird.
Traveled in and out of the
Now, adding Willie to the mix even makes it
That's what I
better.
just did.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
Willie. You couldn't tell?
Oh, I know. Oh, I clearly knew.
Oh, okay.
Okay, are you done?
Yeah, that's
Because that
it.
was really rather entertaining. 8:29. That's Deb's Daily Dirt. It's brought to you by Mark Dietel Realty.